All right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions. Continue our pay-per-view retro review series. The In Your House saga continues. This is Bad Blood in Your House. What are we up to again?
18.
18. All right. Your host, Mike.
I'm Frank, man. Let's get right
All right.
into it. St. Louis, Missouri, 21,151 on hand for this one. A first ever in the main event. And an unfortunate saga to this pay per view as well that I will bring up in a minute. We do have two substitutions. Again, one of them I'll bring up in a minute. Ken Shamrock was out of this pay per view. It was supposed to be a 3-on-3 match to
Yeah.
open the night, but unfortunately he was injured.
Legitimately, he was legitimately
Yeah.
injured. Yeah.
So
Coughing
the
up blood,
lead,
apparently.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a
So
rib. I think it might have been a rib that he broke. Something.
yeah, it kept him out at least until Survivor
Yeah.
Series. That Legion of Doom went at it on their own. It was a 2-on-3 handicap match. Legion of Doom versus D'Lo, Kama, and The Rock from the Nation of Domination. Pretty much on this one, they held their own. And of course you had the same Three Stooges running the announcing. You had Vince, Lawler, and Ross. And this is actually the last pay per view of the New Generation era, as Survivor Series was going to kick off the Attitude Era. So now we're in for a wild ride. The match itself wasn't bad. Like I said, they held their
I thought it
own
was pretty
against
good.
them. It was, Legion of Doom actually looked pretty good in this one, which is not something we've said recently.
Right. They actually look pretty decent.
Yeah. And it's funny because, LOD went for the Doomsday device
Yep.
on The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Farouk comes down, distracting the Legion of Doom. D'Lo clotheslined Animal over the top rope. Kama kicks Hawk in the back of the head. And then, of course, they didn't say it, but it was a rock bottom.
Yeah.
It wasn't named that yet, but we're naming it now.
Rock bottom, yeah.
And he pins Hawk, and the Nation gets the 1-2-3 victory over the Legion of Doom. So, it was unfortunate for the Legion of Doom, but like I said, it was good. It was a good opening match for this. Now, the next segment they showed real quick, Sonny and Doc Hendricks in the back of the Superstar line, the two of them. I don't want to know what y'all are doing back there.
At least Sonny looked good though. That's all that matters. Back then, at least.
Back then, at least. Now, no.
Yeah, no, not so much.
Now, the next segment I'll talk about, Vince announced that Brian Pillman had passed away at this point. Brian Pillman was supposed to face Dude Love at this pay-per-view. Unfortunately, it was canceled due to his passing. At this point, Vince did not know much details other than that they found him passed away at the hotel in Minnesota that he was staying at. Jim Cornette was actually instructed to find out the whereabouts of Pillman. When they called the budget motel where he was staying in Bloomington, they said that the maids found him dead on the floor. They didn't know the cause of death. It was actually heart disease that was hereditary in the family. He killed Brian Pillman's father, and unfortunately, it got to him at the age of 35. So this was a terrible loss to the WWE and to his family. I mean, I couldn't believe this when I heard it.
Yeah, I was shocked. He was young. He was young too. 35, 36, around there.
Yeah, 35 years old, and the heart disease got him, man. It tells you something. But yeah, that's a huge blow because that was actually supposed to be the match coming up next. Unfortunately, they replaced it with a miniature match.
Yeah, and Vince says we have to replace the match, but we hope you're entertained or something like that. I'm like, this is what you give us?
Yeah,
I know
seriously.
I know it's a last minute scramble, but
You got guys in the back that could have fought.
right, I don't know. Anyway,
I mean, you put Jim the Anvil Neidhart in there against somebody, Triple H, or have Mankind come out and fight himself.
yeah,
Whatever it is,
yeah.
you give us this. Max Mini and Nova versus Mosaic and Tarantula. Oh my God. Real quick, Max Mini was thrown on the announce table by Tarantula, which was actually funny. Max rolled Tarantula into a crucifix pin barely.
Thank God.
And they get the 1-2-3 victory. At this point, watching this live back then, I was like, why don't we just start giving the midget world heavyweight title or the little guy tag team championship? I mean, are you going for a whole roster here, Vince?
Right, they should have. I mean, they should have done something with her because this is multiple pay-per-views.
But eventually, this gets replaced with the light heavyweight division taking over, which wasn't much. A wish list light heavyweight division because that starts at DX in your house when they crown the inaugural champion. So
nobody cared.
Nobody cared because it was all guys that were one and off. Unless it was Taka versus Brian Christopher, everybody else was in one day, out the next. Aguila and the rest of them. I mean, they nobody stayed. So I was like, what's the point? Until you started bringing in guys like Malenko and then Christian, you had something. But I mean, it really didn't get any better until WCW came around, and then they changed it to the cruiserweight title. So before our next match, Sonny had came down. Oh boy, and was introduced and was the guest ring announcer for the next match. And she was also announcing the tag title match. It was the Headbangers defending the titles against the Godwins.
Her former tag team.
Everybody was. I'm surprised she didn't go to the Headbangers.
Yeah.
But I had said this on One Night Only. I love how the Godwins lose the match and become the number one contenders to face the Headbangers when the Legion of Doom is just sitting there and they give them the titles for like a second before the Outlaws take over. So this match was okay. I'm not praising it for anything. It was all right. It was average between the two. As far as what happens during the match, Mosh went off the top rope. Phineas caught him, sort of, because he botched it. It kind of went into a sit down power bomb, which I mean he literally just fell out of his arms. I mean, so he really messed that one up. Cletus held Thrasher, so he couldn't get save Mosh, and the Godwins get the pin, and they are the tag team champions.
Yes.
After the match, they beat down the Headbangers. The ref said, now this was funny. The ref said that if they did not leave the ring area, they would reverse the decision, and the Godwins would be disqualified, and the Headbangers would be the champions. All of a sudden, they just we dropped them. We're out of here. We got our gold. And of course, they make eye contact with Sonny and whatnot. I expected her to jump up and be like, "Oh yeah, I always need
yeah. She was saying they stunk. Remember when they come out?
Oh shit, they do. They're hog farmers.
Yeah.
So in any event, the next segment I actually enjoyed this one. It was a video package on Steve Austin and what happened last Monday night on Raw, where Vince gives Austin three options. One, he gets a note that states he's medically cleared, which he's not. Two, come back to compete, but WWE is not responsible. He signs a waiver.
Yeah.
Or three, he gets terminated, which we know Vince is not doing. Not with your hottest guy on the market at this point. I mean, getting hotter than Shawn Michaels, seriously. And so from there, that Michael Cole interviewed Owen Hart, who had mentioned that Austin must forfeit the Intercontinental title that night because the next match is the finals of the tournament. Owen Hart versus Farouk. Now, I never understood why they had two heels fighting each other.
Well, it was supposed to be Ahmed, but Ahmed got injured. Yes, this is a big shocker.
I'll say it ain't so, man.
The original plan was Ahmed Johnson, yeah, against Owen. But
this kind of made sense because now once Austin's going to end the feud with the Hart Foundation at Survivor Series, and then he's going to go into the feud with the Nation, which unfortunately to me wasn't long enough. I really thought him against the Nation. This is on.
It was good stuff, and back then, I'm sorry. Stone Cold and The Undertaker were like the only solo guys when you think about it, because Shawn's part of DX, Brett's part of the Hart Foundation, and then you have all the gangs, the Nation. What was the other group? Was it
Los Boricuas, DOA?
DOA, Los. Yeah, these guys. I think I'm missing like one of them, or is that it?
I think that's it. Truth Commission.
So, they were like kind of like the solo guys. I did enjoy that you had mentioned that they had that package of showing with Austin. I enjoyed that stunner package, man. When they show him stun Jerry Lawler and they show him stun Vince.
Oh, because Lawler thought he was untouchable.
Right.
Like, I'm his guy. And when Austin's trying to read that subpoena or that note,
because
Lawler's getting in there.
The order protection, yeah. Owen put an order protection on him. But Slaughter was the best.
Yes.
Slaughter was the best when he used to just stun him, because Slaughter was the commissioner. You know what's funny? Slaughter's supposed to be he's supposed to be a baby face, but he came off because Austin was so hot. He
had to become a heel.
He's like a heel, yeah.
And then he becomes back to the fan favorite when he's got to face Triple H.
You want to give me orders? It looks like the only thing you've been ordering around here is cheeseburgers, son. And he says, "Get that look off your face, because I'll knock your lights out just like that, bro." That was the best.
That and the time that with Gorilla Monsoon, he says, "You call yourself the gorilla, but you hee-haw around here like a jackass."
Yep. Oh God, Austin was the man.
Yeah, I started talking to people at work like that. That didn't really go over
Yeah,
too well.
yeah.
Oh well, sorry. But yeah, this Austin right now is getting red hot.
Mm.
I mean, but yeah, like I was saying, with the Nation, the feud didn't last long enough, which is unfortunate because that was something that I was really looking forward to. But we still get our enjoyment in this match because Austin comes down doing a little commentary, stealing everybody's headset.
He goes to each table. He goes from the American table to the Spanish announce
Spanish
table to
table to the French.
the French, and he's going off.
Tell,
Oh, I love when he said Owen was a piece of trash. Remember Owen showing him the shirt? He's like, oh, it's
yeah,
a cheap pop or whatever or something like that. He's like, you piece of trash.
0-3-16. I just broke your neck.
Yeah.
I thought that was like going a little too far back then, but I was like, looking at it now, I'm like, that fits.
Yeah, I thought it was, but apparently Austin didn't have a problem with it. He was
Nah,
like, all right, fine. It doesn't matter.
it's just going to build to the feud when I face him again.
Yeah.
He's building heat on himself.
I don't know if it's just me, but I kind of felt like Owen looked out of it in this match. And maybe it's because Pillman had just died. I felt like Owen
Yeah.
didn't. He kind of looked like he wasn't.
Same thing in the Brett Bulldog
Yeah.
tag team match. It just seems like there was something like the breath was taken out of them.
Yeah.
And I can understand it because
He was close with those guys.
Oh yeah,
Trained in Canada. He trained in the dungeon.
yeah. So it is possible that took an effect, but they were still able to put on a good night.
No, it was fun.
And this match was actually shorter than I thought it would be. It was only like a little over 7 minutes. Real quick before we get to this match, there were actually 2 segments. Jim Ross was in the ring. He acknowledged some of the St. Louis's wrestlers: Gene Kiniski, Jack Briscoe, Dory Funk Jr., Harley Race, Terry Funk was there, Sam Mushnick, and of course Lou Thez. So I thought that was pretty cool that they did that. And then right after that, Doc Hendricks was interviewing Farouk about the IC title match and Steve Austin. And, of course, Farouk didn't hold back when it came to Austin. And then right before the match, Vince updated on Brian Pillman, saying it was a possible overdose. Of course, we know now it wasn't. I don't think he should have said that on the air.
I don't think so either. And not to get too deep into it, he makes a complete ass out of himself by bringing in Brian Pillman's wife on Raw. That was garbage.
Yes.
That was garbage.
That was complete crap.
That was low. That was low. I did not like that at all.
No, they should have never put her on the air. I remember when they did that, and
just awkward. No. I remember watching it and just sitting there like, this is really.
Why are you doing this?
Why are you doing this? Yeah. So, anyway.
Exactly. So again, getting back to the match, Austin doing the commentary. For whatever reason, Jim Neidhart comes down, I guess to make sure Austin doesn't get involved. Fortunately, that didn't work because Austin hit Farouk with the IC title. Owen gets the pin on Farouk because Austin wants to face Owen for the IC title.
Exactly, that was it.
So screw you, Farouk.
All right, sorry.
Then he just throws the title in the ring. You want it? Yeah, you got it, you piece of trash.
See you.
You're the IC champion. I'll see you at Survivor Series.
Yep. So that sets up the rematch.
Yep, and his feud coming up with the Nation.
Yep.
So following that match, they showed footage of the last Monday night, the Hart Foundation beating up Vader and the Patriot.
That made them join forces.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that in a little bit, and I'm going to explain. And I've said this a dozen times. I'm going to say it one more time what they should have done with this with the match that night. So our next match was an 8-man tag team match. It was the Disciples of Apocalypse versus Los Boricuas. Again.
I told you, we spoke about this before. I hated all this gang stuff. It was just stupid. Many factions. Like Vince said, their factions, they're not gangs. They were just trying too hard to compete with the NWO, in my opinion.
If they weren't gangs, why was Survivor Series called Gang Rules?
Gangs, I don't know. I hated all of this.
These guys never went anywhere other than beating the crap out of each other. No. And then Legion of Doom spent almost half a year fighting the DOA. So it didn't make any sense. And shortly after WrestleMania, Los Boricuas was pretty much gone. Most of DOA 2 members left, and it became just Crush, Skull and 8-Ball.
It was trash.
And then Truth Commission was out. So, I mean, what are we doing here? But in any event, Crush with a tilt-the-world backbreaker and a pin gets the victory.
Thank God.
DOA wins. Honestly, when I first watched this, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a double disqualification like it's always been.
Right, yeah.
I'm surprised they got a pin on this one. So, moving on from that, after this, Michael Cole had interviewed Brett and the Bulldog about their upcoming flag match. Now, they added a special stipulation to this, which doesn't make any sense. You can win by grabbing your opponent, your flag, or win by pinfall or submission. Doesn't that negate a flag match, grabbing
And
your
it's not a
flag?
flag match, yeah.
It's just a regular match.
Right, yeah.
Now, this is what I'm going to say. This match right here should have been a one-on-one match. Bulldog, Patriot. Why? Because to stop Survivor Series, Brett and Vader could have been the
main event.
match.
And the main event.
And the main event.
Brett, this is the second pay-per-view in a row.
Well, the title wasn't on the line, so I mean, granted, it's a tag match.
Granted, but we've seen guys like Diesel, for example, in the main event in a tag team match with Shawn Michaels.
This is true.
So again.
But this was a first time ever match.
I know, but I'm just saying, this is a pattern here. I'm Brett on the way out. They're just like, yeah, the hell with you.
Well, hell, he could have made him the opening match, but he didn't.
Yeah, you're right. They should have done that. Vader, Brett. Vader
gets the title. Yeah. Shawn fights Brett in a non-sanctioned fight. You do whatever you want to. Right, yeah, the title is not involved.
Right.
And then Vader loses the title to Shawn at DX.
Right, yeah. Shawn could have even cost Brett the title, right? Which I guess could have led to then it's just a street fight between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but either
there's
way,
a bunch of things they could have done instead of the way they did it.
Either way, we go on to the flag match, which I didn't think it was a bad match.
It wasn't.
That's the next match on the card, right?
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Yes, the next match. It wasn't a bad match.
It was fun.
I'm surprised that he didn't put the title on the line at this pay-per-view. I know they were focusing on the Hell in the Cell, the inaugural match, but still, don't take anything away from the championship. I mean, you're not defending it here, and you're doing a flag match. Again, Bulldog Patriot. I did. Do your thing.
I did like the promo when Vader was talking about how they're Americans, they hate Canadians, or whatever. I'm paraphrasing here. And then he says the best there is, the best there was. What a bunch
of bullshit.
Yeah, and then they apologize like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We are alive." I'm like, "It's a pay-per-view, man."
Who cares? We're heading into the Attitude Era. You're gonna say worse.
Yeah. Oh, that was hilarious because I think that Vader went off the script. I don't think he was supposed to say that.
That's why Vader ain't winning a match for the rest of his career.
Well, he didn't care at that point, but you saw how big he was.
Yeah, he's getting old. He's doing like Yokozuna at this point.
He was pushing for. I was surprised that he was able to do that backflip off the ropes and he landed on his feet. Did he fall or did he land?
No, well, he lost his balance a little bit, but I was surprised that he was able to land on his feet.
He landed on his feet. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. A guy that big,
agile boy, ain't he? Even Jim Ross commended it. He goes, "Oh, look at this."
Yeah. So I mean, I thought this match was good. I thought it was entertaining.
It was. I mean. Of course, let's not forget the fan getting into the ring here.
Yeah, and they got stomped out.
I think Bulldog stomped the mud hole.
The ref grabbed him
dry. Yeah. Oh my God!
What was this guy thinking? What was this guy thinking?
5 seconds of fame and banned for life from St. Louis Kiel Center, and probably charged.
Yeah,
it's not worth it, people. Trust me, it ain't worth it. But Patriot went for a roll-up pin on Brett, but Brett reversed it using his tights. Yeah, and pinned. You're also holding the tights.
Oh, he held the tights, and they didn't even say anything about it. They just like, yeah, whatever.
Brett and Bulldog get the victory. So a flag match where nobody grabs the flag. Congratulations, Vince. You screwed that one up. And what would be Brett's final victory on a pay-per-view? Unfortunately, you I don't know. I gotta get off that now. Anyway, moving on. The next segment, Doc Hendricks actually interviewed Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
He said that he was thankful that there was good news and there was bad news. The good news was that this match was not for his coveted European title. He goes, "This baby's staying right here." And I'm thinking, Undertaker wouldn't freaking want it anyway.
No, I know, but the fact that, spoiler alert, Shawn's going to win the match, the title should have been on the line because he wasn't going to lose it.
Well,
why not put it on the line?
Because this is also not only a Hell in a Cell match, but this is a #1 contendership match for the winner goes to Survivor Series to face Brett. Yeah. Well, so we all know that what's going to happen.
Yeah, Shawn is full heel now, which pissed Brett off because at that point Brett was because Austin is an anti-hero. He's basically babyface.
Yeah.
Brett was the major heel, and they made Shawn a heel, and it's like, what are you doing?
Even though he's being cheered because everybody loved DX.
Right. So now he's a heel, and he's basically shitting on the fans.
Yep.
I did laugh when Shawn's promo was ending. Triple H grabs the mic to talk, and they cut him off, and they went right to the arena.
Guy got no
That's
love
funny.
yet.
Well, he was
Sorry.
carrying, he was carrying Sean's bags back then. So it's
Yeah.
like, so,
Until the next night, after WrestleMania 14, the genesis of
yeah,
DX,
yeah,
where Vince told Triple H, "Look, you're gonna have to run with this now because unfortunately he's done. He's
yeah,
out."
yeah.
So we got Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, and let me tell you something about this match. 5-star all around.
Yeah, it's a great
I,
match.
Shawn Michaels got thrown pillar to post, every which way, thrown off cells, into
Bleeding,
tables. Oh my! They went to the
crimson
top.
mask.
Yeah, the Crimson Mask.
Sean
They
took a
went.
bad bump. Sean took that nasty bump.
Yup. And I like the fact when he assaults the cameraman. Personally, I think they had too many in there. I think it was like 2 or 3, and there wasn't really a whole lot of moving around in there. And when he falls into the cameraman, he goes ahead and beats him down. So then, of course, Slaughter's got to open the thing to get rid of him. Naturally, these guys go out.
This
They're
is
going up.
before this. Sean was referring to him as the showstopper.
Yes.
And he was. I mean, he came out and
He
he just
used everything: the showstopper, the main event, the headline. This was it now.
I think there was also taking a dig at Bret Hart, like
Oh,
I'm the
he
main
was.
event. Yeah, he couldn't.
He was.
But it was good heel work. It was good. I didn't care for Sean at this point.
Oh, I was cheering for him. I don't know why, but I was.
I can't take anything away from his in-ring work. So put on a show with the Undertaker. The timing was excellent.
Always, even the match 10 years later when these guys fought again.
Yeah.
It was like 1997 all over again.
Yeah.
These guys were always tremendous in the ring, except 98, unfortunately, when Shawn got hurt. But Shawn took such a beating from the Undertaker, but was able to come back.
It's the second match of the trilogy, right? Because they fight 3 times.
Yeah, Rumble 98, unfortunately, with the casket match. But, Shawn Michaels is just about to be done, lose, then the lights go out.
And you hear the music.
The ominous music comes on. The fire in front
turns red.
The lights turn red. Here comes Paul Bearer, and what does Vince say?
That's Kane.
That's gotta be Kane.
Yep.
And I remember Glenn Jacobs saying this in an interview that under that mask he had a full-blown smile on his face because he couldn't believe he was doing this. They finally gave him something worth it.
Great gimmick. Rips the door off the hinges of the
awesome.
The Hell in the Cell. It's like a horror movie, man.
Yes, it is.
Damn horror movie. It was great.
The first 6 months to Kane was leading to WrestleMania. Everything was in red.
Yeah,
was in red lighting.
It's the greatest build
yes.
to a debut of a character ever.
Like, definitely.
The story they told with Kane's alive, your brother's alive. This is just
welcome to your worst nightmare.
And he showed up and the look that Undertaker has on his face.
He's like, what the hell?
I think he says, I don't know if he just says Kane. He mumbles
Kane,
but
yeah, he's like, Kane?
Yeah.
And then the Inferno, and then he tombstones Undertaker. Shawn Michaels.
You see, he had to spin him. He was trying to get to the right camera.
Yeah.
That's what happened. He was trying to get to the hard camera, so he kind of he grabs him. And he's like, then he gets to the right camera view.
And then his version of the tombstone was a little faster.
Yeah.
Like he dropped you just a little quicker than the Undertaker would.
Yeah, like a snap.
Yeah. And then of course Shawn Michaels finds some way. He crawls over and pins the Undertaker.
And he gets the hell out of there.
Shawn's the number 1 contender because here comes Triple H and China trying to get him out of the ring because this man is dead. I mean, you could have counted Shawn for 100 count. He was done. But this was the best build-up for a character and to bring him in at the perfect time. And from now till WrestleMania, right before WrestleMania, when the Undertaker finally accepts it,
I won't fight.
I love when DX, they were like the newest member is Kane, and Undertaker looks at him and goes, "You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Don't do this." And then Taker thinks that Kane is with him. Mm-hmm. And of course at the Rumble, no, I'm not. I'm gonna set you on fire in the coffin. Nah.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be an awesome build-up to WrestleMania.
Yeah, this was great. Oh
my God!
This is a very important pay-per-view because of the things that it sets up. It sets up the debut of Kane and that feud, and also sets up Shawn going into Survivor Series. So,
unfortunately, against Brett, which we all know what happens.
So I mean, overall, the pay-per-view was okay, but just the last match was off. I mean, it
was awesome.
Yeah, it was just awesome, and what it set up in terms of the story that they're going to tell going forward.
The only thing I disagree with, and I'll talk to you about it in the next In Your House, was the challenger. I don't believe it should have been Ken Shamrock. In my opinion, I think it should have been Owen Hart. but we'll get into that when we get covered
Yeah,
out.
when we cover it out, we'll definitely get into it. But this is a great pay-per-view just because of the
Yes,
storytelling in that last match.
first ever Hell in a Cell match. I mean,
Yeah.
just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the beatings Sean took, unbelievable.
Oh, tremendous.
Great match.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our review. You guys let us know what you think. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.